This week's Extra Life on F5 Live Refreshing Technology and GNC Week in Review is proudly powered by EXA. EXA brings the latest technology to gamers, offering the most immersive products for the ultimate gaming experience. They've compiled the best elements of cutting-edge ENC tech, the latest in Bluetooth 5.0 and 7.1 surround, plus extra features into their headsets so everyone can enjoy a sensational gaming experience. And they've got headsets for Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and PC. Plus, they won't break the bank. Learn more about the headsets that are available and any current promotions by going to f5live.tv/exa. Oh, one of my favorite topics, obviously, / sarcasm, is the closing up of cloud-based games. Long-time listeners might remember my public rant when EA closed Playfish and SimCity Social went away. Now we have a game in another long-time popular series going away. It is Final Fantasy VII, The First Soldier. Now, if you've never heard of this one, that's okay. You're going to understand why the game's probably going away. It was a Battle Royale spin-off set in the Final Fantasy VII universe. And it was available for iOS and Android. So, if you missed it, it's okay. You didn't miss a whole lot. I definitely experimented with it. I'm not a big Battle Royale person, though at Strike I do end up playing more Fortnite than I'm happy about. But it wasn't great, and the developer's aware of that, and they kind of admitted that that's the reason it's going away. The quote from a statement from the company was, "Despite all our efforts to bring you regular updates with fresh and exciting content, we haven't been able to deliver the experience that we were hoping to and that you all deserve. So we've made the extremely tough decision to end service for Final Fantasy VII, The First Soldier." Okay. Now, I can both not care about this game at all and still be annoyed by the way cloud gaming works. I obviously I grew up on games that we literally still have fully functional running at Strike right now. My personal genesis from when I was a kid is sitting there on a CRT television. Don't worry. Hooked up for people to play without any of the digital lag. And it fully functional, right? Short of destroying the cartridge, the games are fully functional. But here, and especially with this type of game, where the business model is sell skins, sell items, sell things, for it to just go away always annoys me. I don't know, Kirk, if you've been part of this conversation. Avram and I have had this conversation many times over the years, along with some past hosts. But I don't know that you and I have ever had this conversation.
I don't.
Where do you sit on this?
Me, I'm with you. I'm in your camp, in Abram's camp. I am not really interested in cloud gaming. I haven't since I haven't. I mean, for me, I would rather go into, like, I had a Nintendo 64. I was playing GoldenEye, which I think is the best game, hands down, as a
Coming
shooter.
to Xbox Game Pass soon.
Okay, well, that needs to go to. Well, I have to need to invest in Xbox, But I'm with you. I'm not really into cloud gaming. Look what will happen. Look what happened with Google with Stadia. Look how long that lasted.
Yeah.
And of course, Google's been killing a lot of projects over the many years. So I just don't really, for me, I don't understand I follow it. I follow cloud gaming as far as the news is concerned, and also various websites and what have you. But Yeah, I can't really get my
And I
heart into it.
and I take a different position on the concept of the cloud streaming games, right? Where
Right.
you can like Game Pass, right? What, $15 a month, and you're essentially it's essentially Netflix, right? You're
Right.
renting access to the games. Yeah, the games
Mhm.
come and go. Some of them you can download, some of them you can stream. It's an interesting concept. It's not for everybody, but
Right.
it's not. But in those things, you get the in-game stuff, just like
Right.
Apple Arcade and Google whatever Play something, whatever they call theirs. You get the in-game things, right?
Right. Mhm.
Whereas with this, you're paying for the in-game things, and the game goes away. It's it's very NFT to me.
Well, that's what happened with Google Stadia. That's everything was in game in app purchase.
Yeah, and
And
but when they, at least when they shut that down, they gave all the money back.
actually, for someone, from what I understand, I read, I did look into it. I checked out where I think it's one of the descriptions. I think it's Pro that are not getting their money back. Supposedly, I think it's Pro or
Because
I think it's Pro.
it's for purchases. It's for
Oh,
actual
okay, right,
purchases.
right.
It's not for the rental. So yeah,
Oh,
if
okay,
you
okay,
if
got it.
you if you
Right.
paid for the rental of the games,
Hmm.
you got the use that you paid for. If
Right.
you
Okay.
purchased a game on the service and
Hmm.
the service is going away, so is your purchase, they're refunding that money. Which,
Okay,
I
got
mean,
it. Okay.
that makes sense to me.
Hmm.
But I honestly, I've legitimately been bitter about this since SimCity Social. And how long ago was that, Avram? That was
You
Nick.
can't you
Nick
can't
was still
win.
around. John might have still been around.
You can't listen. With games, I don't know. I mean, like, it's kind of, you know what you're getting into when you get into it with one of these games. Like, how much of your time and your life are you going to invest in
Farmville.
something that's online, and can go away? On the
Sure.
other hand, you can say that they're games, and so when the game is gone, it's sad, but I guess there's another game for you. But if you put a lot of time in it, that would be annoying. If
Yeah.
it were like, if you had spent a lot of time creating mods or levels or something like that, and
Sure.
they just killed it, you would be,
Little Big
you
Planet.
would, you would be upset. Did that happen in Little Big Planet?
I think so.
Uh, I found
I
Little
think,
Big Planet to be very confusing.
yeah, me too.
Uh,
I was never a fan.
yeah, I
I
mean,
was
my
a
son
fan.
played it for a while.
I was a fan of the E3 presentation for the first one, and that was where my interest ended. It was
Yeah,
it was a wonderful presentation.
there was
with
a
lots of
racing
promise, and
one.
nothing happened.
There was a racing one that my son played for a while when he was playing PS3. I mean, if for some reason like Microsoft were to shut down Minecraft, I mean there would be like
Riots in the streets.
riots in the street, and I couldn't live in my house anymore because my son would go crazy and like break the wall or something like. But but I mean,
Pitchfork and torches.
yeah, but I mean, that's kind of the unfortunate thing. I mean,
Yeah,
it's something that could be said about a lot of technology. Like if you're investing in something that needs to continue to be supported, how much do you trust that it's going to continue?
yeah,
Right? What if
yeah.
you have a router or something that requires cloud updates and they decide not to update it anymore? What if you have a smart?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What?
What?
Which one?
I didn't cough, Eero.
Right. What if
When
you have
Amazon finally gets bored with that?
What if you have a smartwatch that needs cloud updates? What if you have? I mean, what if you have a smart speaker that requires being tied to the cloud? What
Are,
if you have
are
a
you
smart
just
camera?
are you just like swiping at me personally?
Not on purpose.
Shots fired.
It happens to all of us. It happens to all of us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It happens
Yeah.
to all of us, and
Yep.
you've got to kind of. But that's like it's a bad signal for companies that are trying to break into into a field or try to get you to do something else, because it's like, hey, wait a second, do I need your constant support for this or do I not?
Right.
Like anytime, you go to, if you go to CES and you go to meet a startup or something and they tell you about some device they have, I think a question should be like, is this cloud dependent?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we did Collision, that was oftentimes one of our questions, right? Because Collision's a whole startup conference, early stage startup conference, and we did the numbers one time. I think it must have been from Collision 18 to 19. We went and checked how many of the companies we interviewed in 18 existed in 19, and it was like 13% of them or something like that. So that became a regular. Oh, it was 17 to 18. So in 18, it became a regular part of our question. If and Todd during CES asks it, I think a little too harsh, but that's a whole different thing. If you disappear tomorrow, does this go in the trash? But that is the question, right? If the company goes away tomorrow, Insteon, what happens to all the products if one of the founders doesn't come back and repurchase the company? Which was a legitimate topic of ours just a couple of months ago. So yeah, it's a big part of our lives today, for better or worse. Definitely for worse.
Yeah. Look, Google has a rep now, right? So if Google is to cut, that's just Google in particular, but
I think googlegraveyard.com, I think, is the timeline website.
It's killed by Google.
That's it.
Which I follow their Twitter account.
But if you think about that, if Google tries to come out with something else that's very cloud dependent, would you spend your money on it? Like Stadia actually became somewhat of a self-fulfilling prophecy, because I think a lot of people thought that Google was going to give up on it, didn't invest in it,
right,
and then Google gave up on it. So,
and just while we're on that topic, real quick, to the guy who made the comment that Avram and I were crazy, that it was a failing service from Google. Where are you now? Anyway,
look, it's I wish it success. That would have been nice, but
we wanted it to work, because with competition comes new ideas. It can't just be Microsoft, because Amazon misbranded theirs. It can't just be Microsoft doing this. We've got to have competition, and it's a shame it couldn't have been Google, but it's not the brand name. I had a conversation with somebody, I think, last week on this. It's not one of the brand names that come to mind when you think of gaming. Maybe it was you guys. I don't know. This week's been weird.
Yeah. So, yeah. It happens, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure. Just to look around this room at the graveyard of devices that will never be useful ever again.
You could make an argument that the EU should make a law about this, similar to the e-waste laws for charging, because
the USB-C thing.
There's a lot of e-waste resultant from things. Now, when you're talking about a game that's only existed as software, that's not really a problem. But if you're talking about devices, a watch, a router, a speaker, whatever,
this weird little touchscreen device that we sold at Radio Shack, that if you told me I'll give you $1 million if you can come up with what it did, you'd have to keep your money. I got 3 of them around here somewhere, because I'd always hoped that I'd be able to, that somebody in the hacker community would come up with a new operating system for it and we could use the touchscreen, but it never happened.
Theoretically, something like that, if you might be, depending on the size of the, how easy it is to dismantle, you might be able to use the touchscreen with another type of device, right? If you can rewire, you can connect to a Raspberry Pi or something like that.
True. That's a good idea. I hadn't thought about that. one of these things will get cracked open soon. Thank you. But yeah, it's definitely unfortunate, whether it be a game like this or a device or whatever. It always sucks when the support goes out, but it hurts a little different when it's something that you actually invested time and energy into, like a game. So, it sucks, but based on the comments from the company themselves, so did the game. So, sometimes things happen. Hello, YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of F5 Live Refreshing Technology. If you did, please subscribe to the channel down below, and of course hit the notification bell, because we know that subscriptions don't mean much on YouTube anymore. If you've got topics that you'd like us to talk about in the future, please comment them down below. And if you'd like to not follow us on YouTube, there's lots of ways that you can follow along with our content by going to PLUGHITZlive.com/subscribe. There you'll see all of our shows and all of the ways that you can watch, listen, and follow along.